Direct messaging is the communication method used to send transition of care summaries electronically. Beyond using it for meaningful use purposes, direct messaging will also be extremely convenient for sending patient health information to other providers since it is an approved, secure messaging standard. Depending on your preferences, it could even eliminate the need to fax documentation to other care providers. Typically, direct addresses are assigned by your EMR or e-prescribing vendor. If you currently do not have a direct address, go to our website, sticomputer.com. Log in using the Customers link, and then click Enrollments from the left. Then select SureScripts/Direct Messaging Enrollment Form. This is the enrollment form for both e-prescribing and direct messaging. So as long as you are currently e-prescribing through Chartmaker Clinical, you will only need to select the box for direct messaging when filling out this form. After submitting the form, somebody from STI will contact you with your new direct messaging address. To send a direct message, you must be in Clinical. Practice Manager does not have the option for direct messaging at this time. Once in Clinical, go to Do, Direct Messaging, Send New Message. This can be done in or outside of a chart. If you open a direct message outside of the patient's chart, the message will not be associated with the patient by default. From the new direct message dialog, click the To button to select your recipient. Enter the criteria that you would like to search by at the top, and then click Search. Once you find the correct person, double-click on their name to add them to the To field. When you're done, click OK. Next, add a subject. If you would like to attach a supporting document, such as a progress note or a radiology report, click Attach. However, if you are attempting to attach the transition of care summary for meaningful use purposes, then you should click Generate and Attach CDA instead. Clicking Attach will allow you to browse out and select a document saved on your computer. Clicking Generate and Attach CDA will walk you through the steps of generating a transition of care summary and attaching it to this message. When doing so, select the provider and then click Save. If you open this dialog outside of a chart, remember to select the patient first. If you have the exclusion dialog turned on, select the information that you do not want to be included on the transition of care summary, and then click OK. Select a location to save the file and click Save. Once you receive the confirmation dialog, click OK. Back in the direct message dialog, you will then see the XML file attached. If you open this dialog outside of a patient's chart, you can click Patient to associate this message with a patient if necessary. Otherwise, finish by adding a message and then clicking Send. You will not receive any kind of confirmation dialog. However, if you would like to see a list of sent messages with their status, go to Do, Direct Messaging, View Sent Messages. From within this dialog, you will see a list of messages sent by this user along with their status. You can also view messages sent by other users by selecting them from the User dropdown. Now let's switch gears and look at the steps to be taken when receiving a direct message from another provider. Direct messages will appear on the user's to-do list, similar to a progress note or a clinical message. You will be able to tell that it is a direct message because you will see the word direct in the From column and direct message in the Type column. To view the contents of the message, double-click on it. You will be able to read the message and reply if necessary. To view or save the attachments, click on the Attachments link. If you would like to save it to the directory where all your other scan documents are saved, click Save to Scans directory. If you would like to save it to the system defaulted My Documents folder, click Save to My Documents. If you click either one of those two options, you will see a confirmation message appear at the bottom of the screen. If you would simply like to view this document, click Open Attachment. Remember, the Transition of Care Summary is an XML document which is not human readable. So if you are attempting to view that type of document, it may look like gibberish. However, a PDF, Word document, etc. would be visible through this option. To import this information into a patient's chart, click Import into Chart. Then choose whether you are importing to an existing patient or a new patient. If the patient's information is found within your database, the patient will already be selected. If you select Create New Patient, you will have the option to create a new patient on the fly. Then on the right, you will see your options for saving the attachments. If this message contained an attachment such as a PDF or Word document, you will see those attachments in the Save Attachments box with the option to select or deselect certain documents. If this message contained a Transition of Care summary, you will see the checkbox for Open Chart and Import CDA for Reconciliation checked. Click OK when you are ready to start the import process. If you have the preference to receive the exclusion dialog turned on, you will receive it at this time. Select the information that you do not want to appear in this document and click OK. Then click OK when you receive the confirmation dialog. You will then see the clinical document appear in the patient's chart. At this point, you should file this document into the correct folder and/or rename it if so desired. After you've completed the import, close the chart. The original direct message will still be on the user's to-do list and can be deleted by highlighting the message and clicking Delete. If you have imported a CDA, there will be a Reconcile button below the contents of the document. The Reconcile button will allow you to select which structured information you would like to import into the patient's chart, while at the same time comparing the new information to the existing information in an attempt to eliminate duplicate data. The reconcilable information includes medications, diagnoses, and allergies. To reconcile the data, click Reconcile. You will see 3 tabs across the top of this dialog: medications, diagnoses, and allergies. If there is no data in this CDA document related to one of those 3, it will indicate that in the tab name, and your dialog will be defaulted to the first tab that has information. Here is an example portraying that situation. Within this CDA, there were no medications or allergies to import. However, there were diagnoses, so you will be defaulted to the Diagnoses tab. Each tab will have 3 columns within it, one for the current information, one for the available information coming from the CDA, and finally the final merged list. The information coming from the CDA, whether it is medications, diagnoses, or allergies, will be color-coded. To find definitions for these colors, click the legend. Generally, green means there is complete information, yellow means there is only partial information, red indicates the information was not found and needs to be manually entered, and blue indicates that the match was found. Before we go through some examples, let me explain the options that you will have for each section. The options I explain next will be available in all 3 tabs. First, within the Current section, once a data element is selected, You will have the option to discontinue it if necessary. On the Diagnoses tab, this option will be labeled Resolve, and on the Allergies tab, it will be labeled Remove. Within the Available section, you will have the option to either add all the non-skipped information by clicking Add All, or you can add one at a time by highlighting an individual data element and clicking Add. If the data element is not found and must be manually entered, and/or if it is already active on the chart, the skip box will automatically be checked and you will not be able to add it. If there is information that you deem not necessary to import, you can either check the skip box or just ignore that information altogether. Within the Final section, you will have the option to remove any current data by highlighting it and clicking Discontinue or Remove. Or you can modify the imported data by highlighting it and clicking Change. And again, just a reminder, the action options at the bottom will be the same for the Diagnoses and Allergies tabs as well. To move from tab to tab after making changes, you must click Confirm to save your information. Then click Yes to confirm. You will then receive a confirmation dialog where you should click OK. You will then see the screen update and be able to navigate to another tab. When you're done with the reconciliation, click Cancel. After clicking Cancel, the CIR dialog will close and you will be back in the patient's chart. If you made modifications, you will see that reflected in the chart note and on the face sheet.